Hi, it's Amelia Pern with my HOA horror story here in Shohola, Pennsylvania. I have today a piece of paper that is a motion to withdraw appeal that was filed by Walker Lakeshore Landowner Association. Apparently, they don't want to go to the Commonwealth Court and get a judgment, which is interesting since they wanted to do this for a long time, right? It doesn't give any explanation as to what the why. It doesn't tell you anything. It just says item number 1 says appellant wishes to withdraw appeal, and item number 2 says the appeal is in transfer to the Commonwealth Court. So does that mean we're done? I doubt it. They knew they didn't have a case. They knew. Here's the most information I have on this. The most information I have on the reason for the motion to withdraw here is that Walker Lakeshore's Landowners Association did not feel that they were going to be successful in any aspect of this appeal. Basically, they don't have a case. They knew they didn't have a case for a long time. That didn't stop the use of the civil court system, did it? They knew they didn't have a case back in 2001 when one of their own assessment committees had made a motion. It was second. It was unanimously carried forward and approved that Maple Park is a separate development in the Walker Lake area. That is specifically what they said back in 2001. Now, if you remember from my last video, I think it was my last one, the letter that I posted to the Attorney General talking about how Maple Park is not part of Walker Lakeshore Landowner Association, that was in the same year. That was also in 2001. So if the Attorney General back in 2001 had done their job, they would have seen that even the Homeowner Association says that Maple Park's not part of them. Interesting stuff, right? Anyway, in more recent times, back in 2010, when they took me to court and they got the magistrate decision in January of 2011, they got a tiny fraction of what they were asking for, the $5,440.98. They got a tiny fraction. That's on the lawsuits page of ShoholaPA.com. You can see it. That never happens. They knew they didn't have a case as soon as that happened back in 2011. If you look at court dockets in this county, if you go to, you can go to PA Court Records, PA Court Dockets, and you look at the website, and it has all the dockets, and it goes back several years. You can look at hundreds of court dockets that are Homeowner Association is the plaintiff. They never get the type of judgment I get. Never. They always get, like 99.9% of the time, the Homeowner Association always gets what they ask for, plus attorney's fees, court costs, things like that. They don't ever get the type of judgment I got. So they knew back in 2010 or January of 2011, as soon as they got that, they knew they didn't have a case. That didn't stop anything. So, and then of course going forward, it's at every level, at the Court of Common Pleas level, and then, going everything in between. They didn't have a case. They knew they didn't have a case, but that didn't stop them from using the system, in my opinion, to try to force me to pay this. The only other thing I can think of, which as far as a reason for the withdrawal, because again, I haven't received anything. I don't know if they can refile. I don't know what the deal is with this. But the only other thing I can think of is on all of my paperwork, on their deeds, on my legal paperwork, all that type of stuff, they say that they're a nonprofit. Now, we went to magistrate level, and then you go to the Court of Common Pleas, and then above that is the Superior Court, which is lateral, basically on the hierarchy chart, to the Commonwealth Court. And then above that, one of the few options that you have left is the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. So we're pretty high up in the game now. They appealed to the Superior Court. The Superior Court is moving the case over to the Commonwealth Court based on the understanding that Walker Lakeshore Landowner Association is a nonprofit. Now, a prosecutor for the Department of State called me and was talking to me about that, and his information is that they are not a nonprofit. They are not even the other side. He was a prosecutor for the Department of State Division of Corporations for Charities. Even the other side, the regular corporation division, said the same thing. They're not a nonprofit. So I was kind of wondering how they're going to handle that with the Commonwealth Court. I mean, how do you get up in the big boy league up there? You know what I mean? You got to go down to Harrisburg and claim you're a nonprofit. And it doesn't appear that that's the case. Now, maybe that prosecutor didn't know what he was talking about. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but according to the state of Pennsylvania, they're not a nonprofit. So I was kind of wondering how they're going to handle that with the transfer over to the Commonwealth Court. Maybe this is how they're going to handle it. I don't know. I'm guessing on that information. I'm just taking a guess. So the short story of it is they filed a motion to withdraw because they don't want to go in front of the Commonwealth Court with their case for I don't really know what reason yet. So we'll see where it goes in the next couple of weeks. It's a holiday weekend now, so I'm sure next week will probably be a slow week. And then we got to wait for the Commonwealth Court or the Superior Court to make a decision on their motion, which I assume would be just simply granted. But is it granted in such a way that they can refile? I don't know. We had a motion to quash in there, and the opinion, I don't know if you call it an opinion, the opinion from the Court of Common Pleas was that the case was fatally flawed and it should be dismissed. So there's a lot of little factors in there, but we'll see where it goes, I guess. Thanks for watching.